we live in an era in which everything that defines us is under attack. There is indeed no doubt that a serious demographic crisis is affecting Italy, but it is also affecting the whole Europe. An important opportunity to discuss a number of issues that Italy considers key, not just for the national, but also for the European agenda. The family and the democratic challenge, focusing on initiatives regarding families and children in all different areas to bring about a significant cultural change. It is dangerous for our identity, our national identity, our family identity, our religious identity. It's also what makes us aware of our rights and able to defend those rights. Without that identity, we're only numbers, unconscious numbers, tools in the hands of those who want to use us. This is the reason why mobilizing resources to support families and children is essential and can deliver concrete results, as Hungary has perfectly demonstrated. The example of Hungary tells us that things can change if we want them to change. We need the willingness and we need the courage. Thanks to the policies developed by the government over the last years, Hungary inverted the negative birth rate trend that had been plaguing the nation since the early 1980s. And today the birth rate has increased, the number of marriages has increased, the overall employment rate has increased, and then very importantly, the rate of female employment has increased. By developing family-oriented policies, by combining a family-friendly cultural approach with concrete policies to support families with children, especially for mothers, it is possible to give women back the freedom to be able to bring children into the world without having to give up their careers as a result, and to be able to have a career without having to give up bringing children into the world as a result. For that is what true freedom is.
Europe's biggest problem at the moment is the declining competitiveness. It is in the interest of both Italians and Hungarians for the European economy to be successful and competitive. It is also in our common interest that Europe does not isolate itself from economic partners outside Europe. And it is also in our interest that Europe has a strong industry and that the green transition is in cooperation with European industry, not against it. If we do not conclude a European competitiveness pact, we will lose hundreds of thousands of jobs over the next decade. What is being prepared is three parties are forming a sort of coalition to distribute important European positions and do not involving others in this. It puts the institutions of the European Union on a party political footing. Since there is no inclusion, there is exclusion, and therefore there will be majorities, minorities, governments and counter-majorities. This was not the idea. The Union was not designed for this. The Union was designed for inclusion, and we must not allow any country in the Union to feel that it is in opposition, that it belongs to the minority. That is why we always strive to involve everyone, and that is not what is happening now. And I think that this is the wrong path, both philosophically and strategically, and one that the European Union should not be following, which is why I, for my part and for Hungary's part, cannot support the party agreement on the division of positions that is now being drawn up.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. I am pleased to welcome here in Rome today Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán. As you know, Hungary from next July 1st will take over the rotating presidency of the Council of the European Union. And Prime Minister Orbán is traveling to major European capitals clearly to explain the priorities of the Hungarian presidency. So obviously I want to thank Viktor for the attention that he wanted to devote to Italy with this visit of his. And I want to say that I very much appreciate, I share the priorities that have been identified by the Hungarian presidency, starting with the decision to include among those priorities a challenge that I also took the liberty many times to mention, and for the competence of the European Union, which is the demographic challenge, is one, as you know, from my point of view, of the preconditions that are needed to build a strong Europe, a Europe that knows how to return to be a protagonist in the world. The problem at hand has a wide-reaching impact across the entire continent, is the declining birth rates in European nations. None of these nations are able to reach the replacement rate, which refers to the minimum number of children a woman should have in order to ensure the sustainability of the population. If we do not address this challenge collectively and reverse this trend, our economic systems, our social systems, and our long-term future will be at risk. Of welfare will become unsustainable, and that is why we have always believed in the importance of collaborating on this matter. I am extremely pleased that the Hungarian presidency has chosen to prioritize this issue. A strong partnership is key to addressing this. We, of course, also assess the exceptional state of the bilateral relationships between Rome and Budapest. Hungary is clearly an important European partner. It is also a valuable ally for us in the NATO. I am very pleased with the intensification in recent months, both in our political dialogue and in the strengthening of our economic relations. Italian companies are displaying an increasing interest in the Hungarian market as they look to export their goods and invest in the country. It is worth noting that Italy is a strong advocate of the Hungarian-led NATO multinational battalion. We are extremely pleased with the solid cooperation we have developed, particularly in the Balkans, a region that both Italy and Hungary deem to be of great importance. And it is no coincidence that here, too, one of the main focuses of the Hungarian presidency concerns precisely attention towards. The Western Balkans are moving towards the enlargement that I like to refer to as reunification, which Italy and Hungary both agree on. Of course, we also had a discussion about the conflict in Ukraine. We know very well that our positions do not always coincide. This is precisely why I want to say that I very much appreciate the position that Hungary has shown so far, both in the European Union and in NATO, allowing the other member states, allowing the allies to take very important decisions even when it was not completely in agreement. With Viktor, in each case, we reiterated the undisputed support for Ukraine's sovereignty, independence, territorial integrity. We look together very carefully at its reconstruction because obviously the best way to look beyond the war is to imagine a Ukraine that is rebuilt, that can prosper and that can grow. As you know, Italy is very committed to this. During the Ukraine Recovery Conference, we discussed the focus on competitiveness and also touched upon the Hungarian program. It is essential to maintain key aspects of both programs. The focus of the proposal put forward by the rotating presidency is evidently centered around enhancing European competitiveness and strengthening European defense. Another notable feature is Hungary's new approach to agricultural policies, with a clear emphasis on imbuing cohesion policies with increased attention. These topics are also significant in light of the last European elections, where the voices of citizens across the continent expressed particular concerns. Furthermore, during our discussion, we extensively discussed Hungary's key priorities in effectively managing and governing migration flows, coinciding with our shared standpoint. We share the opinion that the current European approach, which has gained momentum in the past few months, with Italy being a driving force, is crucial to consolidate. This approach is rooted in specific pillars, namely safeguarding the external borders of the European Union, combating mass illegal immigration, and tackling human trafficking. Furthermore, we emphasize the importance of fostering a new model of cooperation and partnership with the countries of origin and transit for the benefit of all stakeholders and in line with European interests. Moreover, we acknowledge the significance of exploring innovative solutions and experimenting with new forms of immigration strategies. As I have already done the Italy-Albania Protocol, it has also received a letter from the majority of member countries addressed to the Commission, which asks it to keep following this approach in the future and describes it as a positive step forward. In summary, this decision has gained support from member countries. As is often the case, there are multiple matters on which we agree. I would like to extend my gratitude to the Prime Minister of Hungary for honouring us with this visit. It is worth mentioning that we will have the opportunity to meet again in a few days, specifically on November, the first European Council of this new legislature. We are looking forward to this event and the discussions it will hold. Opportunity to discuss the strategic agenda and therefore also hopefully what the direction of the European Union should be in the coming years. I want to give in closing a big good luck to Prime Minister Orbán for these 6 months of the rotating presidency of the European Council, and of course, once again, we would like to reaffirm Italy's complete backing for the upcoming crucial months. We sincerely thank the Prime Minister for his continuous support.
Grazie, Primo Ministro. Prego.
If you liked the video, please like and subscribe to spread more awareness. Share your thoughts in the comments below and join the conversation. Your engagement helps us bring more content to light. Remember, stay informed, stay engaged.